Hello guys, welcome back. Today we are going to be doing another episode of Block Wars. So, Minecraft has changed a little bit, like the textures and stuff on flat worlds, which is annoying, but I'll still go with it. And because I don't really have a say against Minecraft. But, of course, the Holy Netherack are pushing against the Moss, and so are the Netherite Empire, or is the Netherite Empire, but the Holy Netherite are doing most of the heavy lifting, and are doing pretty good at their job. Now they are immediately going to be deploying a couple of soldiers to try and deal with this combat. And will launch a bit of another offensive against the Moss, or boost their current offensive. And this is stretching the Moss incredibly thin, as if they weren't already stretched thin enough. And they are immediately also going to be building their small province near the lake a little bit up. This is going to help their economy a little bit and give them some more people to help fight in their war. And kind of around this area, the Holy Netherack are going to deploy a few extra soldiers to try and help with the offensive. So some of their soldiers, of course, are going to die, but they are also going to kill a decent number of the Moss forces, who are starting to retreat, as they do not want to have to suffer massive casualties and on top of their already growing casualties. And I'm sorry if this is a little bright again. Minecraft, for some reason, changed a lot of the stuff, so now it's all really bright and weird. But the Netherites are going to continue their offensive. They're going to bring a few more soldiers over to help with the fight. And the Holy Netherack decide that they are going to send out a lot of soldiers from this area to try and secure a few key points. And to threaten a much larger offensive. So they're now trying to close in this area, try and secure this territory to help the Netherite conquer and crush the moss. But now the moss decide that they are going to order all of the mangrove forces to launch a massive attack, try and desperately conquer the last remains of what the Dark Prismarine would own. And of course, a lot of you guys are probably getting a little angry with how bad the Moss were doing, so this is their comeback. Them hoping that they can finally make a victory upon the battlefield, even though they've been losing a lot in the past few episodes. This attack will be a desperate last attempt to try and beat the Netherite, even though the Moss are suffering horrible losses, and the Moss are kind of being destroyed on all fronts. And now the Holy Netherack launched their attack from the walls. Charging down upon the Moss and engaging in heavy combat with them. Lots of them are dying as they're coming down, but they are pouring in such numbers and with such might that they are beating back the Moss. And this attack is going amazing for them as they're just slamming the Moss with every single soldier. The Moss are forced to basically, or they're not even forced to do anything, they're being just crushed. And there's not really anything the Moss could do to stop this attack, like it was inevitable, and the Holy Netherack just have so many more soldiers than they do. In some areas, the Moss are falling back to the walls, desperately trying to hold any kind of defensive position they have. Now, the Moss are not going to fall that easily, but they are still being pushed back quite heavily and are being forced to retreat in lots of areas. But the fact that this attack is going so well means a lot for the Holy Netherack. And so now the Holy Netherack are launching just a ginormous campaign to try and conquer all of the Moss territory, and it's going very well for them. But all in all, this attack is just going absolutely amazing for the Holy Netherack. And they are now deploying lots of their border troopers that aren't really doing anything right now after such a big victory to try and secure even more territory. And it's just terrifying seeing this much being lost by the moss. And of course, this just paves the way for an even larger assault. So, in the next episode, we will definitely see just an absolutely enormous amount of soldiers pouring in to this region and crushing the moss, probably, because they still have like So if you're confused about this, each of these quote unquote soldiers are like basically divisions of soldiers, so like tens of thousands of soldiers, and then the quote unquote houses are meant to represent like neighborhoods or towns or sometimes even cities. So the larger the house group, the larger the city. And the moss are just being pushed back more and more and more. We will also see more of a netherite push here and along this line, and then more of a moss slash dark prismarine slash mangrove push over here. But the netherite forces that are supposed to be pushing here retreat to try and save this area, which is a smart move since they don't want this area falling. And they continue pushing along this line, which is also a smart move. And so much territory is being lost by the moss. Just so many soldiers and so many neighborhoods and cities and towns and stuff. It's just horrible, horrible losses for the moss. If it looked bad enough when the Lapis were taking over, this is a lot worse. Sure, the Moss did get their empire up and running again, but basically, right after that had happened, they got smacked right back down by the holy Netherack. And all of you people who have been watching from like episode 1 and stuff like that, you would know that there's kind of a pattern going on between like different nations taking control and then immediately falling back into their place and sometimes being completely destroyed. The Lapis were kind of an exception as they had ruled as a massive powerhouse for a long time. And were kind of always a powerhouse. They never really were weak ever, really, except when they were fighting the Blues, but even then they were still strong. And they still won in the end game scenario. Like, for instance, the Moss once had this massive empire, and then that fell. Then they had kind of a period of weakness and misery. Then they became powerful once again, and then they fell right back into weakness. It's kind of this age-long pattern where they rise, they fall, they rise, they fall, and over again. Now, the newest Moss Empire was definitely the largest empire ever in Block Wars yet. But then this new Netherack, Holy Netherack Empire has kind of been taking the stage. And has been showing just about everyone who is really boss and who you gotta look out for. But yeah, so this is just about it for this Block Wars episode. I get it. Not a lot has happened except the Moss getting absolutely slapped around the board or map. But I hope you guys liked it, and please make sure to subscribe. I need to add a little bit more here. But yeah, I'm gonna keep on adding more Block Wars content in the future. And please like the video if you thought it was good, and please tell me what I can improve upon and give me any suggestions for the future. And yeah, that's probably about it. And all of you guys have a great rest of your day. And please watch my other videos about other stuff if you have the time to. And that'll probably be it. Please make sure to like and subscribe once again. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.